One. Good evening, YouTube. This is Roy from R&S Gaming, and I'm here with.
Hi, my name's Joe.
And what did you do, Joe?
I got second place at today's local here at, where are we? Top Cut Comics in, what is this? What town is this? Broadview? No, not Broadview. Berwyn, Illinois. Sorry,
it's cool.
Don't live in the area. I was playing Mekk-Knights today. I went 3-1. Small locals today, but had fun with it.
Right.
So should I just get into the profile?
Yep, let's go. Let's see all that spice.
We start with the Mekk-Knight package itself. We start with 3 Purple Nightfall. Purple Nightfall effect, if you don't know, you can target any Mekk-Knight on the field and then banish it. You banish it.
Right.
To then search out another Mekk-Knight with a different name outside of purple from your deck to hand. This deck searches upon searches upon searches, so sometimes I can use it as ash bait because it doesn't banish as cost, so it can be ogred, so you have to be aware of that sometimes, but most people aren't playing ogre nowadays. Second card I got into is pretty standard Mekk-Knight Blue Sky. Right. 3 of. Do that, he's a search. Most of the time he's the ash bait because you can either searching for 1 or you're searching for 2 almost every time. Searching for 3 hardly ever happens, but it's like a mandatory ash bait if you need to hit it. Okay. Got those 2 for those 3. Next one, I have a 2 of Indigo Eclipse. You have to play Indigo because of something I'll show you later, where you have Mekk-Knight, where you'll have the World Legacy of Secrets, the trap card. Secrets negates monster effects within the same column of a Mekk-Knight monster, and moving the columns with Indigo Eclipse is like imperative for that. Okay. So I got those 2. And then the next ones I all have 1 ofs, so that's 1 of Red Moon, 1 of Yellow Star, 1 of Green Horizon, and 1 of Mekk-Knight Avram. Yeah, most people, you have to play just a few because you need the names. Unfortunately, Mekk-Knights don't have a lot of good names. The only one you don't play is the orange one, because the orange one's awful. Right. I looked at these numbers more so. I got inspiration from Shannon Log. Shout out to Shannon Log playing Mekk-Knights, who's top in regionals and such. Right. So what does the green one do? Green one is actually irrelevant in terms of its actual effects, because you'll never get it off. Okay. It's got the lowest attack out of all of them outside of Avram itself. You get to, whenever you battle something in its same column and you destroy it by battle, then you can add 1 Mekk-Knight from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. I've never had to use it. I mean, it's there in case you really need to go into it, but I always use it for its name more so just to be able to search it. All right. So you got those for all 1 ofs. That's, what is that? That's, I think 12 Mekk-Knights total. Okay. In terms of monsters. Otherwise, I got the rest of the monsters are all set up for going seconds. All right, let's see. Yeah, start off with 3 ashes. I didn't see any of them today. Okay. So I never had to resolve them, but they're there because they're ash and they hit a lot of the meta stuff nowadays. Right. You gotta play it against Orcust. I run 3 Nibiru. Most of the time I side this out when I find out I'm going against a slower deck, but hitting Nibiru, well, having the Nibiru available is great because it creates the token, and you can put the token in any column you choose, so it'll help line up for Mekk-Knight columns on your next turn. Right. On top of it's being Nibiru, and it helps out combo decks. Pretty much. Yep. Second thing I got here is 2 Gamma Seals. This is the only kaiju I play. It's great for just outing things that are difficult to out. I played against Time Lords today. Time Lords are stupid to get around, so I got the Gamma Seal, and that helped me get a win against them. Otherwise, yeah, just great way to set up columns again, because most people try to play around Mekk-Knights once you get it, so they'll place their spells and their monsters in different zones, and getting over the monster and being able to create the double zone for a double Mekk-Knight Blue Sky search is amazing. Right. Just helping you extend your plays anyway. Correct. On top of getting out of boards. Otherwise, I have the spiciest thing people have been seeing with the Cap Shell. Okay, so what does that do? No one is familiar with what Cap Shell does. I use it because there's only 3 normal summonable cards I have in the deck outside of Tribute Summoning the Mekk-Knights. Right. So I have Avram and the 2 Cap Shells in the deck, and I could use Ash if I really needed it for Solomon Great Almirage. Right. But I like using Cap Shell instead for one reason alone. So Cap Shell, whenever it's sent from the field to the graveyard, be it Tribute Summon, XYZ, Synchro, Link, etc. Right. If it gets sent to the graveyard, you draw a card. And that's all it does. It's really simple. Simple draw power? It's just a simple draw card. So you can do 1, go into Almirage, draw for 1. What I love to do with it which I'll explain later, you have the Mekk-Knight Morningstar.
Right.
And this guy, you discard a Mekk-Knight monster or a World Legacy card from your hand to then search a different World Legacy card out of your deck.
Right.
What I love doing is I'll have Cap Shell. He requires, a Mekk-Knight monster and just another monster.
Right.
So I love doing Cap Shell plus a Mekk-Knight monster. Most of the time, whatever I can have summoned on the time.
Mm-hmm.
You link those, you chain block by going Chain Link 1 for Morningstar, Chain Link 2 Cap Shell. So if people are going to chain, the only thing you're trying to stop is a single drop.
Right.
Which most of the time they'll let you go through, and then you're guaranteed to search through with Morningstar.
And it helps thins out the deck and stuff to see other cards.
That as well. Of course, it's adding back whatever you've discarded as well.
Right.
And it's great link material. I use it when I really need to search through stuff. Otherwise, that's about it. It's 22 monsters total. We'll go into the spells next. First things, I'll go through the World Legacy cards. We've got World Legacy 3 copies of World Legacy's Memory. What it does is it searches a Mekk-Knight monster from the deck and it special summons it in defense mode.
Right.
It's a quick spell, so it's great to do on your opponent's turn as well to go into a purple Nightfall, which will then search you more Mekk-Knights.
Right, because isn't purple a quickie too?
Yeah, purple is a quick effect, indigo is a quick effect, everything else is a slow effect, unfortunately. Yeah, the only thing bad about World Legacy Memory is it locks you into summoning only Mekk-Knights for the rest of the turn.
Okay.
Which is why you'll be playing Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme, you play Mekk-Knight Morningstar, and you play Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avermax, which is fortunately a Mekk-Knight card. So that's a great card to go into.
All right.
Yeah, I just got 3 of those. Another World Legacy card I got is World Legacy Key. When it's activated, its activation effect is to add a banished card or a banished Mekk-Knight monster back to your hand.
Okay.
Most of the time, you'll have already used Purple Nightfall's effect, maybe on itself or maybe something else, and it's great to get something back if you really need it to keep extending. Most of the secondary effect is that it negates trap cards in the same column that they're activated in if they're in the same column as a Mekk-Knight monster.
Right.
Which is huge against going against decks like Trap Tricks, or not Trap Tricks, but like Paleo and Ultrageist was huge today. And it's searchable because it's a World Legacy off of Morningstar, which is great. Otherwise, last one I have is World Legacy Succession. Most of the time I use it as an extender if I know I can go into Burrow Sword. But you can search it off Morningstar, so it's fantastic for that. Otherwise, it's just... I wouldn't use Moss Reborn over this.
Okay.
Next thing I got is it's a going second deck, so you have to play Mind Control, 3 O's right now. It's Mind Control, it steals things from your opponent. It's great for Link fodder, because you have a lot of Link 4s that you're able to go into, so it's great for Link fodder.
And did you see it at all today?
I saw it once today, fortunately. A lot of these cards I've only seen like once today. The thing I kept seeing today was purple and blue, which you always want to see.
Right.
Which is fantastic, because with purple, blue, and World Legacy Memory, you get up to 9 different searches, so you're going to be able to start your combo almost no matter what, or you're able to play through multiple negates, which is fantastic. So Mind Control works against a multitude of decks, so it's fantastic to use. Second thing I got is, or next thing I got here just for spell and trap removal, Galaxy Cyclone. I don't play the Twin Twister because you like with Mekk-Knight deck, you like to be able to have the column and then be able to keep going. So you'll play the Cyclone face down. You'll be able to get your column, play your Mekk-Knight, and it's better than MST because it's not a quick play. And then on top of that, you get the Grave effect if you really need to help out certain boards. Like Ultrageist, it's great against Mystic Mine if you get stuck there. Otherwise, next thing I got is just Instant Fusion. I have 1 Instant Fusion target for what is that? Thousand Eyes Restrict. And it's just it's essentially another copy of Mind Control just to steal your opponent's stuff. The only additional thing you could do with it is I also play Link Rebo just for the 1 Link monster if I really need to keep going with it. Otherwise, it's an easy card to set down and people are happy when they hit it despite me only have 1 target for it.
So how many are in the main?
Well, that's not it. So I've got 22 monsters. I believe this is 10, or how many is that? 1, 2, 3. What is that? That's 12 spells, and then I play 6 traps, really easy. I play 2 evenlies because it's going second deck, and it's great to... You have enough monsters and enough spells that already do things, to where if you can bait out... Like, if you're going against a pendulum board, is when I found this is really good. Because you can bait out 2 or 3 negates if you really need to, but the evenly is just... It helps out them. Otherwise, after that, you've got the World Legacy Secrets. You need to play this if you're going to be playing Mekk-Knights, because it's your biggest thing right now. It's your monster negate. And by using this with the Indigo, you can swap columns and be able to continually negate your opponent's effects.
Alright.
Otherwise, last thing I got, I want to have infinite impermanences, but I'm a cheap boy, so I played Lost Winds.
It ain't nothing wrong with Lost Winds, so...
I mean, it's a monster negates. Sometimes the battle manipulation comes in handy because you can play that during the battle phase, which is fantastic. And then it sets itself face back down, which is great to do against a lot of decks, because then you're getting your columns back from Mekk-Knights.
Right.
So that's the main deck. It's 40 cards flat. I'm pretty happy with it. And I guess we'll move into the extra deck. I'll start with the Link ones. I've got a Link Spider. I just play the one of because I have Avram in my deck. Sometimes if I'm able to mic, sometimes I'll summon Nibiru and I'll take it back, and then I can go. You can use the token, or I'll take it back with a mind control or something. Turn it into a Link Spider, and then I can start charging through boards with that.
Right.
I've got the Link Karibo, which of course I need to have because I play the Thousand's Eye Restrict.
Yep.
And it's just nice to have sometimes. And then the final one I play is Salmon Great Almirage. You play it because I play. Because if your normal summon is very liberal in this deck because you're only ever there's a lot you can do with it.
Right.
I like to do into Cap Shell as much as possible. Cap Shell is an easy under 1,000 monster to be able to summon the Almirage.
Right.
Yeah, you summon Almirage, draw one for free, and then by doing that, it'll also help set up columns. So if you have a spell or trap in the Almirage, then you can start summoning your Mekk-Knights around that as well.
Right.
So I got that for all my Link 1s. My Link 2s, I have to start with Mekk-Knight Morningstar. I only play 2. Some people shoot for 3, but I think 3 is overkill. Most of the time I only find myself ever needing to, and the only time I ever go into the second one is if I haven't been able to search out a card I desperately need.
Right.
It searches out. You pitch a World Legacy card or a Mekk-Knight card, which is very easy to get to your hand because of Blue Sky. You do that, pitch it, and then you get to add any card. Preferably, you want to add World Legacy Secret as much as possible, because whatever you pitch off of this guy, you can use Secret to revive next turn. Whenever your opponent activates an effect, your opponent will activate an effect. You chain Secret, summon back whatever you sent. Most of the time, I try to send Indigo off of this.
Right.
So Indigo can then change its column a second time to negate something upon resolution. Otherwise, it's got a secondary effect of battle protection. If any Mekk-Knight monster that battles, or if any Mekk-Knight monster battles a monster that's not in its own column, then the battle is. Well, the monster's not destroyed by battle, and nobody takes any battle damage.
Okay.
So by doing that alongside Indigo, you can get into some plays where people will try to attack into this, and they can't, or they'll try attacking Indigo, and it doesn't go anywhere, so you kind of stall out your opponent that way. I got those for Link 2, a couple other Link 2s. I just got Phoenix for simple Phoenix plays, because you need to out some stuff sometimes. And then I have play Cerberus, because sometimes I have trouble getting out of my own Nibiru token, if I don't have another easy out for it. Otherwise, I don't need them that much. I'll sometimes summon them alongside Boral Sword just because the arrows match up and I get to draw the card for free. Most of the time I use them for Link fodder for Crusadia Avramax as well.
Right.
So yeah, speaking of that, Link 3, I got one Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme. For anyone that doesn't know, he does a couple different things. If he's not pointing to anything, so if he's sitting in the extra monster zone and he's not pointing to anything, then he's untargetable. So that comes in a lot against stuff like Altergeist. Otherwise, if he's alone in his own column, he can attack directly, and then once per turn on my turn, you can get rid of a card that's in its same column to then special summon another Mekk-Knight out of your deck. So using Mind Control on top of that, because it's not tributing, you're just sending the card, you can Mind Control stuff from your opponent and then tribute it off for another Mekk-Knight monster.
Just a whole nother plus at the end of the day.
They do so many pluses, which I find fantastic. And then I've got my Link 4s. Boral Load for stuff when I'm struggling to get out of targets. Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avramax because it's a Mekk-Knight monster, and then Boral Sword for ending games.
Okay.
Making Link 4s is very easy, surprisingly, in this deck. Mekk-Knights spam themselves out very effectively, so it's really easy to get into the Link 4s.
Right.
And Mekk-Knight's Spectrum Supreme is amazing for being a Mekk-Knight name, because he works alongside Secrets and the World Legacy Key. Otherwise, I have 3 or a few other cards left in the side deck. I play, of course, well, I'll do this first. The Thousand's Eye Restrict, because it's Thousand's Eyes, I have to play it for the instant fusion target. It's my only instant fusion target, but it gets the job done. It's great for Link Karibo.
Right.
I play Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon.
So why do you play?
I played this because I do play Winky the Dragon in my side deck. My extra deck isn't that stressed for space, so I have this. I wanted to have something that was a big enough beater. I like Ultimate Falcon. I thought was pretty good, but Ultimate Falcon's what, only 4,000 attack points?
35.
Yeah,
35?
I figured if I can go for something big that just can't be targetable, kill. Most of the time that's enough. And then on top of this, he can destroy 1 card per turn, which is great. So he's a nice little out sometimes, or just a nice big body to have.
Right.
Otherwise, I play Exterio as well, just to help out Striker upon other things that just give me trouble.
That's an auto win against Striker.
Yeah, it's an auto win against a lot of decks, surprisingly. So I love using it if I can. And then my last one, I have a rank 8 Dingirasu.
And that's self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's Dingirasu. It's very good at getting rid of things.
Right.
I don't use it for its secondary effect, obviously, because I don't play Orcust.
Right.
But otherwise, Indigo and Purple Nightfall are both level 8s, and it's really easy to get them out at the same time, especially because Purple Nightfall is banishing himself, and he brings himself back, so you'll be able to have that level 8 rank into if you really need to. So it can get, I have a bunch of ways of getting rid of stuff if I really need to.
Right.
I'll go into the side deck. I do play the Artifact package.
Okay.
I don't main deck the stuff because I don't feel like I run against Orcust that much, but I play the full thing if I need to.
Right.
Lancia's Scythe, and of course 3 Sanctum on top of that. Playing Scythe is fantastic because sometimes you'll summon it out with Sanctum, and then you'll try to link it off the next turn.
Right.
World Legacy Secret doesn't only target any, it targets level 5 or higher monsters. With Scythe and Lancia being in the graveyard, you can revive them and then reuse them again on your opponent's turn.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't target just Mekk-Knight monsters.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, I'd like if it did target Mekk-Knight monsters, because then you'd be able to summon back your Link monsters effectively, but you can't because of this. But it still works very well.
Right, the more you know.
Yeah, so you can essentially get double uses out of every one of them, which I love having. Yeah, and Scythe itself shuts down a lot of decks, so it's great to have. Otherwise, after that, I've already mentioned it. I play the 2-Awaken the Dragon. I side this in almost every time because people love getting rid of Mekk-Knight columns. People will set the Twin Twist. I almost always want to go second, and they'll always want to go first. They'll shotgun the Twin Twister. They'll shotgun the Cosmic Cyclone. It happened to me earlier, and the guy shotgunned the Cyclone, and I summoned out the Blue Eyes, and he had no out to it.
Oh.
Yeah, so Awaken the Dragon's fantastic, just put in. I don't main it because I don't always know what I'm going against, and I'd rather have more outs to things on my main deck.
Right.
But I almost always side it in because people realize you're trying to set up columns and they'll shotgun it every time.
Right.
After that, I got Gozen. Now, all the Mekk-Knight monsters themselves are light and psychic monsters, so it doesn't affect me that much. All of the extra deck monsters I really go into Morningstar and Avermax and I don't know what all the other Mekk-Knight monsters. They're all light monsters, so it's really easy to get around it and stick to just Mekk-Knights.
Okay.
Otherwise, it helps out decks that just go into multiple things. It helps out Striker because they go into multiple attributes. It helps out Alter. I find it's really useful against because then they get stuck on 1 card.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, I just like playing Gozen for that. It's also, of course, it's continuous effect card, so it creates another column for me. I play triple red reboot just to help out extra trap cards because the biggest thing I find I struggle against is Salamangreat with this deck. It's just they get the double pop every time, and that just kills me sometimes. So I throw in the red reboots just to try to help get around that rage and roar.
Okay.
And then last card I got is Imperial Order. It's really easy. I'm not fully dependent on spell cards if I don't have to use it because I don't search for spell cards most of the time. I search for my traps.
Right.
So I can get around losing it, especially because it gives me an extra column on top of that.
That's what's up.
So that's my deck, 15 card side deck as it should be. 15 card extra deck, and I guess that's about it.
Yep. So, before we end it, do you have any quick shout outs or anything?
I do not. No.
All right.
Well, I'll shout out Shannon Long for being inspiration on for the Mekk-Knight. I saw him on Pro Play Tour, saw him topping events, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
That's what's
Mekk-Knights are a lot of fun. They play through columns, and a lot of people don't think about their column play anymore.
Right.
So,
yeah,
that's about it.
So, this is Roy from RNS Gaming. This is an amazing second place Mekk-Knight deck
I
profile.
lost to, what was it? I lost to the Banish deck, Grand Maju Banish with like Gizmek and stuff. So I got OTK twice. He made me go first on the first one. I got OTK because I drew everything I couldn't do anything with.
But yeah. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. This is Roy from RNS Gaming, and we are out.